For those of you who are in the Florida Retirement System drop program, you may be considering leaving early, right? A lot of you know that you can leave early, but you don't want to leave all that money on the table. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how much you're really leaving on the table and the pros and cons of leaving early. Okay, so for those of you in drop, most of you know now you can extend up to 8 years, and even for instructional employees, 10 years, right? But what we're starting to hear a lot of is people who are just kind of burnt out, ready. They're ready to go. We've seen a lot of people who have extended drop and then decided that that is not what they wanted to do, right? They were mentally prepared for 5 years. Now going another 3 sounds bad. But what we hear all the time is, I really don't want to leave that money on the table. I don't want to lose that money. Well, let's get into what you're actually losing, because it may not be as much as what you think. Okay, let's start with what drop actually is. Sometimes people think that drop is just a magical bonus that's being given by the state out of gratitude or whatever it might be. I had one very upset and confused husband who came in with his wife who was in drop, and he was like, well, why are we giving all this money to teachers and state employees? This is ridiculous. You know, the taxpayers are paying for it and everything else. And I had to explain to him where drop actually came from. Okay, so what drop is deferred retirement option program. Okay, and what it is when you're eligible for drop is when you're eligible to retire. So, and you go into drop, you actually start collecting your pension check every single month. But instead of it going to you, it goes to the drop account. That's where that money comes from. Okay. So every month, your pension that you could be collecting, instead of it going to you, it goes into a trust fund while you're still working. Okay. That's why you can't do the investment plan and be in drop, because drop is your pension. If you're in the investment plan, you don't have a pension. Everyone get that? That's also why you have to be eligible to retire to do it, because you have to collect your pension, right? So the vast majority of the money in drop is money that you're going to receive either way, right? You're going to receive your pension check either way. Now, what do you lose if you leave early? Well, the main thing is the new 4% that you've started getting as of July 1st of 2023. You'll lose the 4% return on that money. That being said, that's actually not that great. There's fixed accounts and savings accounts that are paying over 4% now. If you take that same amount of money and put it into one of those accounts, it would be almost exactly the same. So you're losing that 4%. But more importantly, what you're losing is your benefits, what you're working for, right? You're losing most of you, your insurance is covered, right? Maybe a portion of your spouse's is covered for insurance. Maybe you have other benefits that are paid. You have your salary. So that's what you're losing by leaving early. Now, are you really losing it? No, because you are working. That's what you're working for. That's what you're trading your time for, are those things. So are you losing the drop benefit? Not really, because you're going to receive it one way or the other. Now, conversely, right, to play devil's advocate here, if you have to start living on that money, well, you're not going to have it in a lump sum, right? If you need that money to survive, the drop money, and you leave, you're not going to have that same lump sum. So yes, you won't have the lump sum because now you're having to live on that money, but you are receiving it. All right. I hope that explains it. Now, if you can stay, people ask me all the time, Don, when's the best time to retire? Financially, it's never, right? Financially, if you work to the day you die, you're going to make the most amount of money. Retirement isn't about that. What retirement is about is deciding to trade time for money. When you've decided, I've made enough money, I've saved enough, and I no longer want to trade my time for that money. And if you're at that point, if you're to the point where you are just burnt out, going to work is just a chore. You can't stand it. You don't want to get out of bed, and you and it's affecting your health or just your mental health, and you want to retire, just know that you're not leaving that much on the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to link down below a link to our calendar. You can talk to us if you want to sit down. We deal with drop and all of that every day. If you have that projection, we can sit down and show you exactly what you're leaving on the table. But for most of you, more importantly, we can do an income analysis and see how much you're going to be making retired as opposed to working in a monthly income. For a lot of you, that's the most important thing. So if you're thinking about retiring early, go ahead and book an appointment. We'll talk about it. We'll go over, see if you can. We can also give you options for drop and those types of things as well. For some of you, you might not be able to retire early. So we might say, yeah, you can't retire now, but maybe if you wait until this date or this date, and we can show you when is kind of your ideal time for retirement and making the amount of money you need to make to be able to survive. Okay. I hope this video is helpful. I hope you all get good information. We'll talk soon.